It feels like Miami has been spoiled lately. They ended the 2022 season with a surprise run to the Elite Eight, they spent all offseason getting high-impact transfers thanks to some random billionaire booster, and now they currently sit at 12-1 heading into the bulk of ACC play. Things are pretty good in Coral Gables, and frankly, I'm all in. Miami has a loadout of talented scorers and disruptive defenders, and with an experienced head coach in Jim Larrañaga, it seems as though the Hurricanes are primed for a big season. But still, it doesn't seem like they've hit the jet stream of attention just yet. So today we'll be taking a deeper look at Miami, and I'll explain my reasons why the Canes are a legitimate Final Four contender.
This is it, La Loser. You ready for the Hurricane?
Unlike most of the other top teams in the country, Miami's statistical profile isn't exactly elite. Sure, they have a top 10 offense, and we'll be taking a closer look at that in a bit, but you still gotta scroll a little bit to see them in the Bart Torvik rankings, and you can't solely rely on their numbers to discover their quality as a team. To understand what makes Miami so good, you actually have to watch them play. There's a rhythm to this team that seems to be a rarity in college basketball, and they play with the poise and composure that resembles a pro team rather than that of a college one. This mainly comes through in watching them on offense. Miami doesn't turn the ball over, they boast an array of players who can hit tough shots, and they are a great offensive rebounding team. Spearheading Miami's strong start is veteran guard Isaiah Wong. Wong has been a staple of the Hurricanes roster for a while now, and after coming to Miami as a 4-star recruit in 2019, he's finally fully unleashed his potential as a senior. Wong is averaging a team-leading 17.2 points per game on career-best 47, 38, 81 shooting splits, and he's also emerged as a lead playmaker for this Hurricane offense, as he's averaging around 4.5 assists per game, which leads the team. Wong is one of the best pure shot makers in college basketball, and while we've seen him have some really impressive showings over the course of his career, this is by far the most consistent he's been on an extended basis. Wong thrives as an off-the-dribble scorer, which is already a desirable skill and becomes even more important in the postseason. He's a smooth dribbler with an array of finishing moves and is capable of getting to his spots with ease. In terms of his overall movement, he reminds me of a Zach LaVine type guard, as someone who can effortlessly glide to the basket to create scoring advantages for himself. Watch here how Wong accelerates around the ball screen and then gets to the lane while discarding his defender and then finishing through contact. Wong's knack for scoring also shows in the mid-range, an area where the senior is hitting around 44% of his attempts. His footwork combined with his handle allows him to create separation and get easy looks. Isaiah Wong is just the type of player teams need in the tournament. Just look at last year where he made countless key shots for Miami during its Elite Eight run, and if this year is any indication, I expect his shot making to be a massive component to this Hurricane offense moving forward. Alongside of Wong is 6'6" guard Jordan Miller. The fifth-year senior who transferred in from George Mason in 2021 has thrived in his second year with the Hurricanes, as he's averaging 14.8 points and 6 rebounds a game. This, of course, was expected because if you don't remember, Jim Larrañaga and George Mason players tend to do pretty well together.
Denham Brown, 3 to go. Denham Brown, 4-3, no good! By George, the dream is alive!
Miller thrives as a high-level glue guy for Miami. He is the team's second leading scorer as he knocks down 53% of his shots from the floor, but he's much more than just that. He's a versatile defender, as he can use his length to disrupt plays and contain drivers. Watch how much ground he covers here as he hedges the ball screen and then sprints back to the post to intercept the pass. And his hustle and intuition also translates on the offensive end, where Miller shines as a cutter and play connector for the Hurricanes. Even though Miami doesn't find Miller on a well-timed backdoor cut here, he doesn't stop moving and then he ultimately gets the tip in for a layup. Miami also has 2 other players scoring in double figures, and they are both transfers in their first year as Hurricanes. Everyone knows the Nigel Pack story. The 6'1" guard had a standout sophomore season at Kansas State, averaging 17 points a game on 44% three-point shooting, but a coaching change followed by a boatload of NIL money led him to Miami for his junior year. So far, Pack's impact has been slightly muted but still tangible for the Hurricanes. He's averaging a little over 11 points a game on 46% shooting, but he's still trying to find his footing after joining a more talented and established Miami team. Still, Pack gives Miami yet another high-level shot creator who also thrives in mid-range areas of the floor. I'd expect for his three-point shooting to improve as the season wears on, and I also really like his handle and springiness in the middle of the floor, and this allows him to create separation in either isolation or ball screen situations, and he has a quick trigger if he needs to fire shots up off the catch as well. Miami's other impact transfer is big man Norchad Omier from Arkansas State, and he's been extremely impressive so far. Despite only standing at 6'7", Miami has been running him as the starting center, and he's delivered to the tune of 13.5 points and 9.8 rebounds per game. Omier shines for his feel and tenacious hustle, as the junior averages around 4 offensive rebounds per game, and his offensive rebounding rate of 17.5% is a top 10 mark in the country. He also thrives as a roll man for Miami's guards, as he finishes around 70% of his shots around the basket and has a great knack for timing his movements to exploit a defender's vulnerability. After Omier misses his first shot, he gets his own rebound, and watch how well he times his second shot attempt. He waits for the Providence defenders to land before making his jump, and he ultimately converts on the layup and gets fouled. As a defender, his feel also translates. He's not the quickest or most athletic player, but he still manages to block around a shot and a half per game thanks to his disciplined approach to rim protection. Here, he shows great anticipation and hang time in blocking this shot. Miami's quartet of Wong, Miller, Pack, and Omier is the main reason the Hurricanes will win a lot of games this year, but they also have solid rotation guys who know their roles in impact ball games, specifically Wooga Poplar and Bensley Joseph. Poplar plays as a wing in this smaller Miami starting 5, but he fulfills his role well, as he's a greatly improved three-point shooter, jumping from 21% as a freshman to now 32% as a sophomore, and he averages 8 points a game while also being a reliable defensive weapon, who grabs 1.5 steals per game. Miami's 6-man Bensley Joseph has been one of the most impressive players on the team during this young season, as a 6'1" guard is the team's most disruptive point of attack defender and hottest three-point shooter, knocking down an absurd 45.7% from distance. Joseph serves as the off-the-bench spark plug that every Final Four caliber team needs. Think of guys like Remy Martin of last year's Kansas team or Adam Flagler of the 2021 Baylor squad. Deeper on their bench are experienced seniors in 6'9" Anthony Walker and 6'5" Harlan Beverly, and big man AJ Casey gives them a youthful upside as the freshman was a 4-star recruit coming out of Whitney Young High School in Chicago. Miami's roster allows the team to excel in 3 areas that I consider fundamental to a championship caliber team. They shoot an absurd percentage from the mid-range while not relying on it too much, as the Hurricanes make 43.8% of their mid-range shots while they only account for 26% of their total shot attempts. They also don't turn the ball over frequently, as their turnover rate of 16.1 is a top 50 number nationally. And finally, they get a lot of offensive rebounds, primarily thanks to guys like Omier, as they corral around a third of their misses. Now, I'm not going to tell you that Miami is a perfect candidate to go far in the tournament. This team does have its warts. Defensively, Miami is small and allows a lot of offensive rebounds, and they don't force a lot of turnovers. In fact, it's hard to find anything on that end of the floor that Miami does at an elite level. But again, I go back to the eye test. Miami just has a bunch of guys who can make key defensive plays in important situations, even if their overall statistical profile isn't as encouraging. It could be a Norchad Omier block, like here. It could be an Isaiah Wong steal. It could be a Bensley Joseph ball pressure that leads to a stall in the opponent's offense. Basically, Miami just knows how to play, and I trust that as the season moves forward. So yeah, I'm not saying ESPN will make an iconic 2-part documentary about Miami basketball in the near future, and maybe they'll flame out and make this whole video irrelevant. But personally, I wouldn't be surprised to see this team make history in its own right, and I'm excited to see just how far the Hurricanes can go. Thanks so much for watching, and give me your thoughts below.